You know, back in 1927, F.W. Murnau made a film that really shouldn't exist. It's called Sunrise, and it's a silent masterpiece that somehow feels like both a dream and, well, brutally real. So today, we're going to dig into how he managed to perfect two completely opposite filmmaking styles, not just in the same movie, but sometimes in the very same shot.
The great director Martin Scorsese absolutely nailed it. He called Sunrise a Hollywood superproduction, but also a deeply personal, experimental film and a visionary poem. So how does a movie pull that off? How can you be a huge blockbuster and an art house poem at the same time? Well, that's the paradox that makes this film pure genius.
And that really is the central mystery here, isn't it? How can something feel so abstract and poetic, but also like a story about real people that you can connect with? The secret? Well, it's all about how Murnau masterfully blended two styles of filmmaking that are total opposites.
Okay, so to really get what Murnau was doing, we have to understand the two major forces he was working with: the dream logic of German Expressionism and the grounded truth of cinematic realism. On paper, these two styles should just clash. They shouldn't work together at all.
Think of it like this. Realism is like looking through a crystal clear window. It wants to show you the outside world exactly as it is. It uses things like long, steady camera shots to make you feel like you're really there. But Expressionism? That's like a funhouse mirror. It reflects a character's internal psychological state. The sets, the lighting, everything gets warped and twisted to show us what they're feeling on the inside.
All right, so first up, let's dive into that expressionist inner world. This is Murnau's secret weapon for making a character's thoughts and feelings something we can actually see.
Okay, take a look at this famous marsh scene. This landscape isn't supposed to be real. It's foggy, it's twisted, it feels dangerous, because it's a direct reflection of the main character's troubled mind. The mud itself is literally a metaphor for the moral swamp he's gotten himself into. We aren't just watching him, we are right there in it with him, feeling his conflicted, corrupted state.
And to pull this off, Murnau basically threw his entire visual toolkit at the screen. He'd superimpose these ghostly images to show how a character is being haunted by their choices. He'd use a subjective camera that literally traps us inside a character's paranoid point of view. The lighting is super high contrast, carving the world into deep, threatening shadows. It's a complete visualization of inner turmoil.
And here's the crazy part, right? By making the world look less real, Murnau was actually showing us something deeper and more true. He wasn't just showing us what was happening, he was showing us how it all feels.
But, you know, a movie that's just one big dream sequence would be pretty hard to connect with. Murnau knew this whole thing also needed to feel real, to be anchored in a world that we could actually recognize and believe in.
For this, he turned to a style from German cinema called Kammerspiel film, which is basically a fancy word for realism. Just look at this barbershop. It's got this sleek, modern Art Deco design. The camera work in all these city scenes is often really smooth and subtle, which makes the world feel solid and tangible.
And the techniques he uses here are a world away from Expressionism. We're talking uninterrupted long takes, deep focus, where everything from the foreground to the background is perfectly sharp, and smooth editing that makes you feel like you're just a fly on the wall. This realism is what grounds the story and makes the couple's emotional journey feel so earned and so powerful.
So, we've seen the two styles on their own, but this is where Murnau's breathtaking genius just explodes. It's in how he fuses these total opposites together, often within a single mind-blowing shot. The key to this whole magic trick is a technique called superimposition. Now, Murnau didn't just use this to create a few ghostly effects. Oh no, he used it to literally smash entire worlds together.
In what is seriously one of the most iconic scenes in all of cinema, the man and his wife finally reconcile. And as they're walking through this busy, totally realistic city street, completely lost in each other, Murnau superimposes this dreamlike image of their peaceful countryside home right on top of the chaotic traffic.
So what's he doing here? What does this mean? He's showing us visually that their inner emotional world, their rekindled love, which is symbolized by the countryside, has become more real and more powerful than the physical world buzzing all around them. The dangers of the city literally can't touch them. By combining these opposite styles, Murnau basically invented a brand new visual language just to express an internal feeling.
So why does all this technical wizardry matter? I mean, it's cool, but what's the big deal?
Well, this stylistic fusion wasn't just some artsy choice. It was a perfect mirror for the cultural tensions of the 1920s.
The Woman from the City is a classic representation of the new woman, or the flapper, of the Roaring Twenties. She represents the allure and excitement of modern life, the big city and new freedoms. But the film also presents all of that as a danger to traditional rural family values. It's literally the old world versus the new.
And the timing here is just, you can't make this up. It's incredible. In 1927, Fox Studios gives Murnau a blank check, and he pours every single ounce of artistic innovation he has in creating the ultimate silent film. It is the absolute pinnacle of the art form. And then, mere days after its premiere, the jazz singer arrives, and the world of sound cinema begins. Sunrise was both the peak and the eulogy for an entire era of filmmaking, all at once.
So maybe this film really did invent a kind of magical realism for cinema. By proving that the deeply psychological could merge with the tangibly real in the exact same frame, Murnau created something completely new. He showed that a film didn't have to be just a window or a mirror, it could be both at the same time. And that discovery left a huge question for every filmmaker who followed. How do you capture the magic that lives inside reality?